hard to capture, extravagant, resurrect the track and it's militant. And I react like a convict and start killing. It's manifesting. The gods work like appliances, dealing in my psyche.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Naruto Explained here, bringing you guys another discussion for Boruto Naruto Next Generations. And today, I want to go ahead and I want to do something outside of the pocket, something that I normally don't do over here on this channel, which is actually talk about the Boruto / Naruto gaming world. And I think that we need to start having a very real conversation because we have Jump Festa that is coming up in a few weeks. We have the information that we're going to be getting the voice actors for the various members of Car who have not shown up in the anime yet, and we know that we're going to get Kawaki as a voice actor, and it really feels as if the Boruto anime is starting to speed up and it's feeling like the manga is approaching a time skip. I think now's the time we need to have a conversation about a Boruto console video game. And at first I didn't think it was something that could happen. However, a few weeks ago you had a tweet that went out where it was due to Google Translate. A lot of people took it to mean that there was a Boruto video game coming out, but then sources that I trust said, hey, no, that's not necessarily the case. That's not how this tweet actually reads. However, I could see how people misinterpreted that, but then that really got me to thinking. We haven't had a Naruto console game in a while. I think the last one that we had was Shinobi Strikers, and I know that they put a lot of DLC out. I personally don't play Strikers, even though I have the game. I just haven't gotten around to doing it, but people that I know that play it say that it's actually a fun game. If you get a team of some people that you're comfortable playing with, it's actually a really fun game because it's basically you and your squad against the world. And I thought that that was a cool concept, but I heard that Strikers had a lot of flaws, and I think it kind of goes back to this right here. Boruto is a franchise. There are a couple of options that they could go through for a console game. Number one, I think that you have to have a Boruto console game on PlayStation 5. It's something that you absolutely have to do because the mobile games for Boruto and Naruto, those sell extremely well. And right now, even though the Boruto anime has not adapted the manga in its entirety in terms of getting up to the hype moments that a lot of people that read the manga are very happy with, the fact is that the Boruto anime is already more profitable than Naruto as an anime was, which says a lot. I mean, it's surpassed Pokemon in certain areas last year. It's surpassed Black Clover. It's surpassed Bleach and Yu-Gi-Oh! There's a lot going on with Boruto as a franchise where it's a bit of a gold mine. And I think there's two types of games that you could actually make for a Boruto console game. So number one, I think that you can absolutely make a Fighterz game. I think that, I mean, a true 2D Fighterz game. This gives you the opportunity to not only just put Boruto characters in there, but also put Naruto characters in there. And I think that that is something to where you could make a very, very busted series because you have like the options that you have in Dragon Ball FighterZ, and that's a game to where, God bless the dead, but that's a game to where even my cousin, before my cousin passed away, my cousin is a huge fighting game person. That's damn near all he plays, that and first person shooter games, and he played FighterZ and he went absolutely nuts, and he knows a lot about Naruto, or he knew a lot about Naruto, and even he said like, hey, if we get a FighterZ version of Naruto, I'm telling you, this has the potential to be absolutely busted in terms of the different combinations that you can put out, because Naruto's already a series where the fights are more so about strategy. It isn't necessarily about who's the more powerful fighter, but it's also about the different techniques and abilities, and certain characters fight in different ways. Some characters fight faster than others, some are more so on the heavy blows, others rely on support, or they're better as support characters. And this really got me thinking, what if they did something like that to where you had like a 30 character roster where it was like 15 from Naruto and 15 from Boruto, and you just put those characters in there and you just started adding DLC after the fact. I think that they could definitely clean up there, and I could see the potential in a Naruto fighting game, and I could definitely see that selling much in the same way that Dragon Ball FighterZ did. And I think that there's a itching for a traditional fighting game with Naruto characters, and I think that there could be a huge community. I think there could be a big community, and I think that that would be something that would definitely help the Boruto franchise definitely get over Clover. I think this would be a good opportunity to actually start bridging the gap between the Naruto fans and the Boruto fans. I even hate that it's been broken up into two separate communities like this, because at the end of the day, it's all Naruto, and if you read the Boruto manga, it's got its flaws, but the manga really feels like the true successor to Naruto. And so I think that if you start doing a fighting game like that, when you start getting to the story mode, have Masashi Kishimoto do what he did for, I believe it was Ultimate Ninja Storm Generations, where he was the creative director and wrote the OVAs that you saw in that game right there. I think that that could be something that you could do here, to where Kishimoto writes out the story for the actual fighting game. I think that that would be a good way to inject some excitement into the franchise that way. And when it comes to like a Storm 5 or a Boruto Storm game, I think that you got enough here, and honestly they got a couple routes they could go there. So I actually revised my opinion on this, because when I talked to the big homie Space Tiger, somebody who not only is a fun streamer to watch, especially if you like Shinobi Strikers, but it's also a very talented graphic designer who does a lot of the graphic designs that you see on the channel here. So big shouts out to the homie Space Tiger. But you know, one of the things that my man said, he said, well, you know, with the Storm games, they typically followed the anime, and the anime in Boruto hasn't gone on long enough in terms of covering enough story to where you could actually make an exciting game. Nobody really wants to play through the hidden miss field trip arc and all that. The fights weren't good enough to actually do something like that. Now, Naruto and Sasuke versus Momoshiki, that could work. Boruto versus Shojoji, Boruto versus Tsukio. Maybe if you do something with some of the other characters and kind of beef things out, maybe you could do something that way. But you know, he said, hey, you know, you gotta wait for the anime to get further along into the manga content. You get Naruto and Delta and Naruto and Jigen. Once that's animated, maybe you get a Storm game then. And with the anime seeming like it's starting to pick up pace, maybe that's one of the end goals that they're going for. However, I changed my mind on that, because I saw something that Forever World tweeted out, and the big homie said something I thought was interesting, which was, you know, with Naruto Storm 4 was actually ahead of where the anime was at the time. They went ahead and they finished the story, and so that got me to thinking, you got all this hype stuff that's going on in the manga right now. Naruto has a new transformation. He's fighting against the most powerful Sasuke clan member that we've ever seen. What better way to actually bring that stuff to life than to actually have it done in the Storm game? And I think that might be, and I'm gonna put the possibility at like 15%. I think that they know they need a new console game. I think that they know there's an appetite for it, and the Storm series sold extremely well. Boruto is a very profitable series, but I'm gonna put it about 15%, because they're going ahead and they're announcing the voice actors for all the members of Kara at Jump Festa. And so that kind of strikes me as odd right there, because like with some of those voice actors, they're not gonna have a lot of lines in the anime unless they really flesh out the stuff that is taking place. That could happen, but the other reason why you would do something like that is you put them in an actual video game. And I think that that could be a really good way to actually drive support for the manga, because we're in a different situation now. Naruto and Naruto Shippuden, when the Storm games came out for those, the anime was doing blockbuster numbers. The manga was picking up steam like crazy and just steamrolling people, at least until One Piece popped up on the scene and did 39 million manga volumes in 1 year, just shattered everybody that year. But the fact is that this is a different situation. Boruto's manga needs a huge infusion of excitement. What better way to infuse excitement into the franchise than to do something like this? I think that this is your golden goose at this point. I think this is how you do it. You basically bring the manga story to life before you actually see it in the anime. Let people play through it, do some secret stories and everything, where you got to get like the challenges and you're going through, I forgot what Storm called them, but basically when you get like the hidden flashbacks where you're able to get 5 stars on the actual flashback sequence that you're getting, I think that that could be something that after you bring those scenes to life, people go back and they start purchasing the manga. I think that's a good way to move on from Ukyo Kodachi and embrace Kishimoto, while also paying respect to the story that Ukyo Kodachi wrote before he was removed and replaced with Kishimoto. However, I want to know from you guys, how do you guys feel about the possibility of a Boruto Storm game, or of a Boruto / Naruto Fighterz Z type game? And if that's not something you're interested in, what type of Boruto console game would you like to see? Let me know down in the comment section below, but as always guys, if you like anything I had to say, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. Have an awesome day, guys.